So the thing is, right, if we actually allow ourselves to think of, I'm pursuing an education so that I learn a certain skill set so that I can use it in the future, I think our mentality will be a lot more different. So see, nobody forced me to take astrology class from you. Okay, I mean, I'm not forced by my parents say, you must go to May Sim's class and learn astrology, boy, you must score A. So nobody asked me to do it. So when I go to your class on my own accord, I can fork out money, I can fork out the time, I can do more reading, more homework.
Self-generated outcome is very important. Like, you learn this one is for what? I think people have to decide for themselves that's why you bother to spend the time, effort, everything.
It has to be either interesting or at least useful.
Yep, agree.
I think the problem is right now quite a lot of students are finding certain parts of their education not interesting and not useful.
Yep.
Okay, sidetrack a bit. I'm not sure if you have read Harry Potter. Are you a Harry Potter?
I'm a huge fan.
So when it comes to education, because the Harry Potter series is the 7 books, right? It's a story of entire 7 years of education in Hogwarts.
Yes.
And it's actually quite obvious how most of the education are actually relevant to the job market for the wizards, right? The wizards and the witches. So you have to learn how to cast certain spell. You have to learn how to defend. You have to learn how to grow some plants, make some potions, etc., so that you can use this in the future job. So it's very goal-driven. You know why you're learning something for.
Yep.
It's so obvious that people are learning useful skills that they can see people applying them in the real world. Of course, there's a huge contrast where there's this teacher called Umbridge.
Yes, I remember Dolores Umbridge here.
Yeah, she come in and say, hey guys, you don't have to learn any more skills. Just memorize everything on the books and then they'll be tested in an exam. That's all. So that's a huge contrast to say, okay, when you're learning things just for the sake of exam.
Didn't that happen in this country?
Oops.
No, I don't care what. It's like, I came from like the land of memorizing everything that's in the textbook and regurgitating in an exam.
So when I heard this Professor Umbridge says things like, you don't have to prepare for the real world. Education is for you to pass your exams. That is like, ouch.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure J.K. Rowling is not writing this to mock Singapore education system.
She's probably mocking the UK,
the own country,
UK
right?
system, yeah. But actually worldwide, it's not just a Singapore thing. I think worldwide is like that. I'm sure in Japan, in South Korea, it's like that too.
Yes. So if I were to put one word to summarize what I feel is relevance.
Yes, agree.
Seeking relevance to what we learn. Let's say when I learn astrology from you, when I go to your class, it's because I find it relevant to some parts of my life. I mean, as a matter of fact, my primary motive was to communicate better with my wife because she loves astrology. So I learned it so that I can communicate with her and it becomes another language of love. It's fun because everything I learn, I can go home immediately and tell her, say, today I learned about this. And she's like, wow, really? So we had so much more things to talk about. So to me, it's like, I learned astrology and it improved my relationship. It creates more topic of discussion between me and my wife, right? And that's the relevance to my life.
Yeah.
So I guess everybody learns something for the sake of some purpose. And I hope it's for relevance.
I actually feel that it's important to allow people to choose to learn. Because can you imagine if you go to my website and then I write there, you should come to my class because it allows you to communicate better with your wife. It makes no sense to most people, right?
Yeah.
So you see, as a teacher, right, we cannot always assume that we know what the student is going to use it for. We don't know, right? And if this person choose to by their own free will to take a course, we have to trust that this person has their own idea of what they want to get out of it, and it's not for the teacher to dictate actually. We will never imagine that oh, you mean my student is using this for that purpose? Oh, okay, unusual, but whatever works for you, bro.
I mean, as long as you find value in learning and practicing.
Exactly. We've had all sorts of people learning astrology for a lot of myriad of reasons, such that I don't even bother to guess anymore. We just assume that if they are here, they know why they're here. And I think people are smart enough to figure that out. Yeah. So if it's okay, everybody, I want to wrap up by doing what I call a bragging buddy. Okay, so I actually want to say that if you start with us through this conversation I have with Kevin, you should already be able to tell that Kevin is not interested in simply forcing someone to study things just for the sake of doing exam. I think it's clear throughout that that's not his belief. But that I think one of the unique characteristics that I've noticed about Kevin, even when he was in my class, is Kevin's ability to connect with, I think, the younger generation. He's shown time and time again that he can see it from their point of view. He's not the kind of teacher who will like just force them into a box. And I think he sees it very easily when a child is struggling with something, not just on a mental level, but sometimes it's just an emotional thing that the child honestly does not want to do this thing.
A child's psychology and the emotions, what motivates them to work hard and what's stopping them from, taking the action that's necessary.
But you see, it means that there must be a belief that what you are doing is first understanding the child genuinely, and also the ability to actually solve the problem. Because
Yes.
if they did not believe that you could solve the problem, then nobody would have come to you. Right. So despite what we said about the education system changing, but as far as if you do know of people who are still taking exams and your kids are struggling with maths or whatever, I think it's worthwhile to really think about getting the kind of tutor who really understands where the child is coming from, and also his emphasis on the relevance. That ultimately, I don't think getting the grades is one story, but I think the relevance of whatever maths that they're learning is the other main thing. So in fact, I've asked Kevin to give me links to his tuition service. And okay, so for whatever we talk about astrology here, if during the air era you are in the midst of a crossroad, and I think if you feel strongly in your heart that you have something to contribute, but you may not be sure entirely what it is. You may have an idea of where the strengths are, but if you wanted a more like an objective kind of profiling tool to get that clarity, also to if you have funny feeling that something is not quite right, one thing is astrology can very clearly show where the issue is. So if that's something that you're looking for, I do introductions from time to time that introduce people to what they can expect out of an astrology class. So Jeremy's going to be posting a link. And if you are interested in learning astrology, you're at crossroads, or if you, like Kevin, you are a coach, a teacher, or a leader of some sort, and you want to know how to serve the people that you serve in a better way, more objective and understanding way, you can also check us out. So thank you to everybody, and thanks for joining us. So we are going to sign off here, okay? So, okay, see you guys then. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.